we're back again, once again, with a conversation with Breezy. And once again, I have the Life with Liz founder and creator of the show, Liz herself. Liz, I just want to go back. Let's go back in time. Let's go back and let's go back to a time when you couldn't walk the streets. When one of our, like ourselves, we couldn't really be in the public eye without being ridiculed, or better yet, we couldn't be ourselves. We had to hide. We had to, if we didn't take, God knows, some kind of weapon with us somewhere to make sure that something hurt. Why don't you tell me about how did you get through that? How did you get through the epidemic of the AIDS crisis and all the stereotypical things that people generally say about people who are like ourselves? How did you survive that? And what advice do you have to our young transgenders today about the bullying and all the things that are so, dysfunctional in society? What would you advise them to do, or what would you say to them?
Well, Breezy, when I first started exploring who I really was, and we're talking my mid-teens, when I really first started venturing out in public.
And how many years ago was that, Liz?
A little while ago. It was quite a while ago. But I'm very happy I survived all of that. And how I think I did it, looking back, nobody handed me a roadmap. There was no one I could go to and talk to, ask questions to. So I had to learn a lot along the way. I used a lot of common sense, really. I tried not to take too many unnecessary chances, and if it really didn't feel right, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go into it.
So you didn't have role models. You didn't have someone that today back then that you could go to and say, hey, can you guide me? Can you show me the way? Can you put me on that yellow brick road to sing?
No. When I first was coming out, I had no role models. There was no one on TV that looked like me or who I thought I wanted to be. And the only images I ever saw was when I would go to the famed Castro district in San Francisco. And even then, the people appearing as drag queens usually did it as a joke. So I didn't have anyone to look to like myself, so I turned to the old Hollywood movie stars. I studied movie stars like Elizabeth Taylor, Grace Kelly, Lana Turner, and I decided,
oh yeah,
that's what I want to look like. And I patted myself after them and went out in public as best I could, looking like them. And I realized at a very early age that was how I was happiest, and that really moved people who saw me. That got a reaction. So I built upon that over the years, and once I found my look, for the most part, I kept it, tweaked it here and there, but I've never really abandoned it. It's been my signature look, and it's worked for me all these years.
Absolutely, I quite agree. It's a look, and it's one that people today should go back and say, it's glamorous, it's elegant, it's sophistication. All the things you see today in the world of transgender are more trendy, more, selling sex sell. How did you get away from that? How did you not fall into that trap, Liz? How did you fall into not having to do what most of the girls in this era had to do just to survive?
Well, again, I saw that when I was young. You couldn't help but to be exposed to it. I took different roads than they did. Maybe because I did take some of those different roads, I had to live out a different existence that perhaps they wouldn't have been willing to do. But I did what I had to do to make sure I could be taken care of and survive, of course, and not do the type of things that would be, in my opinion, selling myself out. So, difficult choices had to be made, but I made them, and I think I'm the better for it. There is, today, the ones who are coming out, we still don't have the role models, which is why I'm doing this. We still need them. There still needs to be positive people that the young girls can look up to and say, well, if she can do this, maybe I can too.
There it is.
Maybe I can too.
Exactly. Well, Liz, I tell you, you are truly, truly what the girls need. They need to see that life is not about dysfunction, that there is people out there who are able to function and able to walk a life of luxury and glamour and sophistication. All you have to do is put forth what? Will and determination. You don't have to be a stereotype, what they call stereotyping. You don't have to be what society deems you to be. You can be much more. I mean, I'm looking at it and I see you, girl, you're gorgeous. And you absolutely are absolutely what we need. So, Liz, I don't even say, what would you say to a transgender who has nowhere to turn to, has nowhere to go? What would you tell them to do about someone who's bullying them today?
Today, thank God, it's so much easier. Still far from perfect, but a lot easier than it was when I was coming out, because now there are people, places you can go to for help. There are a lot of support groups you can find. Just go to your computer, find your computer, go on the internet and look up transgender support groups. Every major city has one, and you can turn to people who have been in your shoes before, know what you're going through, and want to see that you make it. It's always tough when you're being bullied, always hard, but just know you're not alone. There are a lot of others out there, and there are also a lot of others out there that want to see you survive. Don't give in. Always, no matter how hard it is, keep the hope, keep the faith, keep the belief that you're going to make it through, and you will.
Well, also don't give up. Never give up. Well, we'll be right back in a few minutes with more with the life of Liz herself. Be right back.